Hey everybody, this is Mrs. Busher. Welcome to your first flipped classroom video of the year for lesson 1.4, solving absolute value equations. Today we're going to just refresh your memory on how exactly you do solve absolute value equations. We're going to be working out of your chapter 1 worksheet packet. We're on worksheet 1.4. And starting with problem number 1, we're talking about absolute value. Absolute value bars, if you remember, turn any solution that you get inside of the bars into a positive answer. The reason being is absolute value measures the distance away from 0 on your number line, and since distance is always positive, absolute value makes all solutions positive. The first set of problems on your paper asks you to evaluate the expression. Remember, in math class, when you are asked to evaluate, that usually means we're going to be substituting some value. Substituting some value into our problem. So in this case, we're given a equals -1, and in problem 1, we're asked to find the absolute value of 6a. So I am just going to begin by rewriting my problem. Instead of a, 6 times a, I'm going to rewrite this with 6 times -1 in my absolute value bars. With absolute value bars, you always want to solve what's inside of the bars first. So we're going to get a -6 inside of my absolute value bars. Once you have your solution, then you can use the absolute value bars to change the sign. So the absolute value of -6 is +6. In problem number 2, we are looking for the absolute value of 2b plus 4. So I'm going to replace my b value with -8 as per my directions. So I've got the absolute value of 2 times -8 plus 4. Remember your order of operations. Multiplication comes before addition. So first thing I'm going to be doing is multiplying together 2 times -8, which is going to give me a -16 plus 4. -16 plus 4 is going to give me the absolute value of -12, and the absolute value of -12 is +12. At this point, you should pause the video and try number 3 by yourself. When you hit play again, we are going to reveal the answer to equation number 3. So as a final answer for number 3, you should have gotten -15 as your solution. Something important to remember in this problem is the original problem started with a negative sign in front of your absolute value bars. You want to make sure that you're carrying that down throughout your entire problem as you're solving. When you get to the second to last line that you see here, the absolute value of -15 does turn to +15. However, we are still bringing down that original negative from the problem, so our solution turns out to be -15. Next, we're going to skip down on your worksheet to problem number 13 and 14, solving absolute value equations. So with absolute value equations, we're going to get more than one answer because no matter what you plug into an absolute value bars, whether it be positive or negative, the absolute value will always turn your solution into a positive answer. Therefore, we're going to need 2 equations to solve here. I'm going to start off equation number 13 by just rewriting my original without absolute value bars. I'm also going to write a second equation, keeping the n-4 without absolute value bars, and instead of having this equation equal to +13, we're going to change the sign and make it equal to -13. Next up, I'm just going to solve both of these equations. So in my first equation, I'm going to add 4 to both sides so that I get n equals 17 as a solution. The equation on my right, I will also add 4 to both sides, but this time I'm going to get negative 9 as my solution. And for my final answer, I'm just going to write both solutions as a solution set, negative 9, comma, 17. At this point, you should pause the video and try problem number 14 by yourself. And when you hit play again, you'll be ready to see the solution and check your work for number 14. So here's my work and the two solutions for problem number 13. I've got x equals 15 and x equals 11. My solution is written as a solution set. The smaller number always comes first, followed by the larger number. So we've got 11 and 15 as our answers. Something I forgot to mention in the first example, we do need to check our work to make sure that both of these solutions fit with our problem. So first, what I'm going to want to do is plug 11 into my original equation to make sure that it works as an answer. If you were to plug 11 in for our x value from the original equation, you will get both sides of our equation equal to positive 2. And the same thing if you plug 15 into our equation, we will get both of our sides of our equation equal to positive 2. Therefore, we know that 11 and 15 are both solutions to our equations. When you check your work, you can either do your check mentally or you can write it down on paper next to your problem. That's all for this time.